Good evening, bonsoir. Thank you for being here for this special, very special night for Uruguay. I would like to extend my greetings to our present authorities, Ambassador of Uruguay to the European Union, Ambassador of Uruguay to France as well, authorities of National Meat Institute of INAC, representative of private chambers, and all our friends in the audience. Je salue et m'excuse avec le public français parce que nous devons continuer cette conférence en anglais. Well, my name is Josefina Valenti. I am the marketing manager for the National Meat Institute of Uruguay. I am tonight sharing the stage with Ines Invernizzi, who is head of strategy for the institute, and Álvaro Pereira, market access manager. Tonight we will focus on understanding the policies that Uruguay has designed and implemented over many years that today form the foundation for this Uruguays Solution to comply with the new regulations for the European Union. I would like to start with a little recap of our brand that we relaunched a year ago, Uruguay beef, Uruguay meats, and it is not a coincidence that our sector brand is directly connected to our country brand. In Uruguay, livestock has been an essential sector for the development of the country. Uruguay is renowned for its integrity, transparency, reliability, and livestock and Uruguay share and embody the same values, you know. I would like to introduce as well our brand concept, green quality. But what does it mean? Green quality represents the best of two worlds. The best products paired with the best processes. While some countries may excel in quality products and others in their most advanced processes, none can match Uruguay's exceptional combination of both. Good quality represents all the reason to trust in Uruguay as a supplier of quality meats, honest, reliable, and transparent. So, green quality, it's not only a brand concept, it really describes the essence of our country. I would like to invite Álvaro Pereira to gain a deeper understanding of those values that really create and shaped our country.
Thank you. So my goal here today is to make a brief introduction about Uruguay and its livestock sector. And this will be quite straightforward because it's the same introduction. They share the same values. The main sector of our country embodies the same attributes that our country has. As you can see in our coat of arms, we have cattle in our coat of arms, and this is not a very frequent choice. It's quite exceptional. This means abundance of water and also abundance of land. As a matter of fact, Uruguay has 8 times more agricultural land per inhabitant than the global average. As a result, we are outnumbered 3-1 by cattle, and we export 80% of what we produce. Our main market is the world, and we are very much used to jump through hoops to be compliant with everything. We export to 85% of the international market, and we are strongly committed to keep excelling in this market access activity. The second main element of Uruguay and of the meat chain is reliability. These comments I will make forward are about our institutional framework that is extremely strong, robust, and trustworthy. As you can see in this chart, Uruguay ranks number 1 in the main institutional indicators, and this also is correlated with the coat of arms, which, as you can see, also has a scale. The scale represents justice. or maybe if you prefer a less romantic approach, we could go into objective indicators. For example, democracy. This indicator is developed by the Economist Intelligence Unit, a European agency, that indicates that Uruguay is a full democracy. There are only 22 countries in the world that are full democracies. 11 are in the European Union, and Uruguay is also in that category. So this speaks volumes about our institutional framework and why our information is trustworthy. We are in a good position in Latin America, but we are also in a good position if we were in the European Union. We are at par with the best European countries. If we were in the European Union, we will rank 6th in terms of democratic strength and in a similar position in other relevant aspects as well. So this institutional framework, this integrity, this reliability that the country has also applies to the meat sector. But of course, you know all of this information because we have been trading with the EU for a very long time. We have a very stable relationship and we can find interesting milestones even in the 1870s. For example, we have a very relevant European investment, European scientific development, and European innovation in Uruguay. The company originally called Gibert, that later was to be found to know Lemco, or Jevic company, was of European origin, and it was, in fact, it displayed a very wide array of innovation products. 1870s as well, the first shipment of chilled beef from Uruguay to France found Uruguayan and French actors as well. So we indeed have a very long relationship and we trust each other for a very long time. This private engagement grew, of course, and is present today in this forum as well, but it's also correlated with public trustworthiness. European authorities trust Uruguayan authorities and vice versa. Uruguay was one of the first countries to gain market access into Europe. Uruguay can ship under the Hilton quota, Uruguay can ship under the 481 quota. So this trust is all over the place. Now I will go into two specific elements that are particularly relevant in the light of the EUDR. And the first one is the legal framework of our system, of our sector. Everything is registered. People, companies, cattle, all its transactions. Everything is completely registered and everything is consistent with each other. We know the ownership and the status of every asset at any given moment of time. And this is not something that we did for the EUDR. We started with this spirit more than 1 century ago. We can find the first element maybe in 1852, where we had the first cattle census. We found out that we had 2 million heads roaming on our fields. And at that moment we didn't know how many people there were, because we started to count our cattle first. And that was no coincidence, it made perfect sense. It talks about the relevance of the sector in our country. As a matter of fact, throughout the whole 20th century, we had 15 cattle census and 5 people census. This was the first element, but in 1857, almost 1 century and a half ago, we had the rural code, which you can already find the first elements of the traceability. An abundant overlap of regulation ended up with the unique traceability system that we have today. Individual, mandatory, from birth to slaughter, directly connected with the slaughterhouses so as to have a complete information of the meat chain. One thing is to design a good framework, but the other thing is to include all the actors in the framework. And we already did this, 100% coverage. And this system is already recognized by the EU because it's the traceability we use to export to the EU. And the second pillar is the situation of the forests in Uruguay, which is, of course, is of extreme relevance in the light of the EUDR. These two elements are of paramount importance, and I will draw two conclusions. The first one, Uruguay has no deforestation. Uruguay has no deforestation. As you can see on the graph on the left, we have a very stable situation in terms of preserving and conserving our native forest on one hand, and on the other hand, we have a growth in the commercial forest surface. This is an exceptional situation, and not a lot of countries can show this graph. Of course, no coincidence again, we developed a framework to protect the native forest more than half a century ago. And the second element is that we have a very precise monitoring of our forestry. You can see the map on the right is very precise. And this is not just something that we think about ourselves. We are externally audited. We are externally validated. The United Nations Development Programme recognizes the cartography, the forest cartography of Uruguay and the forest control and supervision system as reliable. So again, this is very important in the light of the EUDR. Just to draw a partial conclusion before going into the specifics of the solution, we have built a very strong and robust public framework so as to support all the agribusiness. And we have been doing this for quite a long time, and the EUDR solution will build on these pre-existent capabilities. EUDR compliance is the most recent step of a very long journey that started a long time ago. And of course, this journey will continue with you as well. Now, I will leave the floor to my colleague Ines to go into the specifics of the solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Álvaro. I'd like to introduce the solution that Uruguay has developed to comply with the EUDR regulation. I would like to start by building the key attribute of this solution, the attribute that sets it apart. This solution was not created for a small commercial circuit or limited to a specific group of producers and slaughterhouses, nor it was designed to cover just one region of the country. This is a single solution for the entire country. This solution monitors and validates the production of meat across Uruguay, ensuring compliance throughout our entire territory, not just in select parts. Uruguay has over 40,000 producers and more than 25 authorized plants for export to Europe. Our EUDR solution encompasses all of them, leaving no one behind. Another great advantage of the solution is related to efficiency. As Álvaro said, these solutions build on existing information systems, meaning producers and slaughterhouses don't need to take extra tasks or tolerate additional cost. This is a comprehensive solution for the whole meat sector, and it is provided by default. As many of you know, the EUDR regulation emphasizes private responsibility. In Uruguay, the National Meat Institute, as the representative of the meat sector, acts as a bridge between the industry and the public institutions. This allows us to rely on current systems while providing the necessary guarantees. In short, we are presenting a private solution backed by the robustness and guarantees of the public system. As we can see, this solution was designed in accordance with the value of our country and our beef supply chain, our identity, building reliability with our customers based on the integrity that defines us in the process, in the products and companies involved. Now, let's talk about how the system is built, about the flow of information. As we said, Uruguay has a land register that defines both property ownership and land usage. Every livestock in Uruguay is registered with a unique number and approval to operate. We also have detailed record of the land they work on and how they use it. This georeferential information has been maintained for more than 20 years. In addition, forestation in Uruguay, both native and commercial forest, is registered and georeferences as well. These two layers of information allow us to identify deforestation-free farms and the location. As many of you already know, Uruguay operates an individual cattle traceability system, which is recognized globally. This system enables us to track the origin of each cattle head in our country, identify the farm where it was born, and the farm it has traveled through during its life, from breeding and rearing to fattening until it is sent to the slaughterhouse. On average, cattle in Uruguay visits 3 farms during its life. These two systems, the land registry and the individual traceability system, enable us to pinpoint cattle that have been raised on deforestation-free farms. Once animals arrive at the plant, the traceability system continues to track which products come from which animal. At this stage, official authorities ensure that the entire process is secure and transparent. The flow of information collected throughout the process is maintained, including cargo validations, to be conducted by authorities, ensuring the origin and process method of the goods. At the end, this system issues the necessary documentation and sends it to the stakeholders involved. Importers in Europe, as part of their due diligence, will need to provide specific documentation. In the case of the URG Solution, this documentation is based on 2 files. The first of them, the GeoJSON file, which has already been validated by EUDR technicians, contains geographical data, marking all the establishments the cattle have passed through from birth to slaughter. The other one, the deforestation-free statement, confirms that the goods were produced according to the EUDR standards and is signed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock of Uruguay. I could go on with this explanation, but seeing things in action is way more interesting. So, I'm going to share with you a brief video demonstrating how the solution works. While it may not cover every single detail, it will provide you a clear understanding of the solution. As we can see, Uruguay is fully prepared to meet the requirements of the EUDR. To finish, let me say some words in French. Nous sommes prêts à répondre aux exigences actuelles et futures des consommateurs de l'Union européenne et du monde. Les consommateurs méritent le meilleur produit et le meilleur procédé. We are ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ines and Alvaro, for such a clear presentation. Thank you, all of you, for being here tonight on this very special night for Uruguay. We're going to invite you now to enjoy Uruguay beef. We are going to have 2 carving stations, one in Latrium here outside, one in the Jardin des Verts on the right, and a Chivitos station also at L'Atelier in the next door, okay? Enjoy, thank you very much.
Yeah.